Now, what's next for Tyson Fury? The WBC World Heavyweight Champion claimed a controversial split decision victory over former UFC fighter Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia Saturday evening. The 37-year-old, who was making his professional boxing debut, put Fury in the canvas in round 3 after connecting with a left hook. Alexander Usyk's promoter now insists that Fury cannot escape an undisputed world title fight in December 23rd. But speaking after the fight to Matchroom Boxing YouTube, Eddie Hearn said to forget Usyk versus Fury because AJ versus Fury needs to happen now.
I'm absolutely lost for words. I mean, Francis Ngannou has never boxed before. And fair play to him. I mean, I didn't think he was overly impressive, but Tyson Fury looked like he's never laced up a pair of gloves before. Got dropped in, was it the 3rd round? Never threw a punch. Ngannou never threw a punch after. I thought Ngannou won by 2 rounds. The boxing world's gone mad. I mean, please, forget Fury Usyk. No one's interested. Just give us Fury against AJ. AJ will knock Tyson Fury out inside 6 rounds. Make the fight, otherwise we'll never get it. Or rematch Ngannou, because the guy just deserves to have had one of the greatest wins. I mean, I don't know what I was watching. I don't know what Tyson Fury was doing. I'm still completely lost for words.
Well, first thing I've got to say is I'm lost for words that Eddie Hearn was lost for words. That's something. There's just no way that happens very often. So when can we expect that bout? No better person to ask than Fury's promoter himself. It's a very good morning to head of Queensberry Promotions, Frank Warren. Frank, a very good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Ali.
Hello, Frank.
We're in top form, Frank. We're in good form. On you go, mate.
And yet again, he's telling porky pies, saying he's lost for words. I mean, my God, come on.
He said he was lost for words, and then gave us about 7,000 in 2.5 minutes.
Nothing unusual. He nearly broke his own record there. He's getting up to 8 soon.
Frank, tell me the question before we talk about the weekend's events. Are we seeing Fury versus Usyk, and when?
Yes, we are going to see it, and it'll be on in the new year, and the date will be announced in the next few weeks. Tyson wanted a fight on the 23rd, but he won't be ready. That was a tough fight for him. He had a couple of bumps and bruises. He's been in camp for 12 weeks, and he can't be expected to go straight into a camp having been in that type of fight. It was a much tougher fight than any of us expected it to be. But it will go on, and it will go on when he's 100% right, and that will be very early next year.
There's been rumours coming out of Usyk's camp, Frank, that they're saying, hold on, it's either December 23rd or it ain't.
Well, listen, don't you even worry about that. There's no problem with them.
Right.
They can say what they like. You know, it's a bit like when he was injured last year and we was trying to get it on, and the fight didn't happen last December because he pulled out because he wasn't ready, and he fought in August, if you remember. Yeah. And Tyson's basically in November, isn't it, tomorrow? But look, it's what it is, and it is what it is, and that fight will take place.
Frank, I want to ask you the same question that I've asked Spencer Oliver and Carl Froch this morning. Now, I sat down expecting that fight to be over, 2 or 3 rounds, right? That wasn't the case. Francis Ngannou was absolutely different class, and you're spot on. He gave him a fight that, I don't think a lot of us expected. However, that said, I'm looking at Tyson. I didn't think he looked himself, to be brutally honest with you, in my uneducated opinion. And I'm looking at that fight. Now, does he have now a little bit of psychological scarring due to that fight, a fight which he was expected to totally dominate?
Well, look, first of all, I listen to Tyson because that's the one who counts as far as I'm concerned. He's in the guy in the ring is going to take the punches. And before the fight, we both discussed it. I said, look, this is no easy job. This guy is competitive. I mean, if you listen to my interviews I did with you both last week, I said, look, he's going to come. He's strong. He's competitive. He's a warrior. He's not a YouTuber. He's not somebody bent over a computer who decides he wants to have a fight. That's what he's been doing his whole life. He's fighting, and he's changed disciplines. And and I said at the time, the only way I can see him beating Tyson, I can't see him outboxing him. I can see him, I can see him standing toe to toe, and it will be exciting. Well, it was all of that except the fella could box. That's what shocked us. I mean, he came out. He's shaped up like a boxer. Normally MMA guys are a bit more squarer on. And, with the benefit of hindsight, which is pretty useless, the fact of the matter is, when Tyson trains for a fight, or any boxer trains for a fight, or any sportsman in a team game plays as entering the competition, they look at the video footage. The coaches look at it, the managers look at it, and you discuss what your tactics are going to be. There was no footage of this guy because he's never had a pro fight. So you didn't know what to expect. I expected what I said, but he actually turned out to be a very, very capable boxer. He had a good jab, good head movement, and he could fight off the back foot, and that was it. And Tyson had a bit of an off night, and I hear, and I know, obviously a lot of people go with the underdog, get that, understand that. Us Brits really understand that, because that's the type of nation we are. Having said that, facts are, you look at the punches that land, that connect, not ones that are thrown and miss, proper punches that land, and according to Computer Box, Tyson landed more, and in my eyes, landed more, and I thought he won it by a couple of rounds.
Yeah. It's interesting. A lot of people have been talking about the way it's panned out now for Tyson Frank, in terms of, because it went the distance, because he got a lot of, he ain't been in the ring for, 11 months, something like that. Had he have got rid of him? Had he have got rid of him?
Been in the ring for a while either.
No,
to be fair to him.
But what I was going to say, Frank, had this have all been over inside 3 minutes, what really, Tyson makes a lot of money out of it. We don't get anything physical out of it. So maybe now going into Usyk, he's had that bit more of a test, and it livens him up a little bit more.
Well, that's a very good point you're making there, Andy. But if it had been over very short, we'd have been going ahead on the 23rd.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, you never knew what you was going to expect. I did expect him to knock him over. I thought, especially how Tyson's been fighting his last few fights, where he's been planting his feet and standing toe to toe with guys as he's done. I generally thought it would be about, I thought we get 3-4 rounds, but it'd be exciting while it lasts. But as I said, it was exciting, and what I'm annoyed about. I was listening to Adam Catterall. I like Adam, by the way. We've done a podcast together, but listening to that, that's not what he said before the fight. He was saying it was a mismatch. It was rubbish. This fight shouldn't be allowed. That's the sort of words he was using. As a couple of the other guys who not just Frank,
when
in the media.
I said it, I did, Frank, as well.
But what I'm saying, and this is what the point I'm making, it's everyone's entitled to opinion, but it's not an informed opinion.
No, true.
And I mean that with the greatest respect.
Yeah,
because
of course.
It's completely denigrating the guy, not saying that basically this is a crossover fight. It's like a misfits match or some, those nonsense things that go on. And it wasn't. It was always going to be competitive. It was all about, for me, Tyson he was a big favourite going into it, and he was entitled to be a big favourite. But, give the fella some credit. He's now been ranked in the top 10 on the strength of that performance. Yeah. And there's a few guys there, as Carl Froch said, who, by the way, has never got a good word to say about any boxer that Queensborough's involved in. But he's now put himself into a great position, and down the road, who knows? We'll see where it goes with him. But this is exciting times for boxing. The fight that the unification fight will go on, and that'll be a different fight because Tyson knows Usyk. There's plenty of footage of Usyk, and Usyk was ringside, and he may have thought he's seen some chinks in Tyson's armour that he can exploit when we announce the fight.
Frank, here's a big question, mate. I'm doing my Henry Kissinger. This is the one they all want to know. talkSPORT. Will talkSPORT be at Tyson's next fight, Frank? That's what we want to know. We've got millions of listeners out there wanting part of the action.
Well, no one banned them. They just didn't have the radio rights. They could have come along and sent reporters like everybody else did. We didn't ban them from doing that. That's misleading. So will they broadcast it? We'll see what happens. But what when it goes out commercially, what happens? What doesn't help, and I think has been proved now, that people just poo-pooing this fight, just saying it was rubbish, it weren't going to be anything. It was always going to be exciting. More exciting than I certainly anticipated. And I'll tell you what, I don't like too much excitement at my age now, but it was a cracking night's entertainment. The undercard was fabulous. Our two, the Brits on there done well. Fabio Wardley, great performance, and young Moses, who I think is going to be the next big thing. Really looked good. He's 18 years old, and Mike Tyson made quite a few really nice comments about him. So it was a successful night as far as boxing was concerned.
Brilliant, Frank. You don't like too much excitement, and Andy and I can't get any excitement at our age, so that's the way it goes, mate.
Well, you won't do driving around in them two old cars that you've got, that's for sure.
All right, mate. Brilliant. Thanks for joining us. There we have